Here we have the Aloe tree Shiraz. So this is a Shiraz from the Western Cape in South Africa. Big hitter, this. You talk about Aussie Shiraz quite a lot. South African Shiraz, 14.5.
Yeah,
Big lad.
Pretty heavy going, 14.5%. Yeah, it's generally the Australians only that do those big 14.5, even 15%. If you get into regions like Barossa in Australia for those types of Shirazes. South Africa, if you was asked me to generalise, I would say they do them on a lighter scale, but this one is a big hitter. Shiraz is a grape variety, or Syrah, as it's also known, is a Côte de Rhône red grape, so it comes from the Côte de Rhône in the south of France. And South Africa, as a winemaking region, has very much inherited a lot of French traits, and I guess that comes to something to do with colonialism and the French coming down. So they'll have a lot of Bordeaux varieties like Sauvignon and Chenin, and they'll also have a lot of Côte de Rhône varieties like Shiraz or Cinsault and those sorts of types. Comes down from the Côte de Rhône. It's a full-bodied grape variety. It loves the heat in South Africa. We're talking right down on the Western Cape where it's super hot, but you've got those Atlantic winds coming in to cool the grapes down, just to calm them slightly, but you can still make a beast.
I mean, yeah, it is big, it's bolshy, but it is smooth. There's oak you mentioned in here, I think. Oak aging, when it comes to a big red like this, it's kind of essential, right?
Absolutely. So when you're making a wine that's going to be 14.5%, that's had a lot of sunshine, developed a lot of robustness, and Shiraz can cope with that sunshine because of its thick skins. That's going to develop lots of tannin, that sort of grippy nature, that bitterness. You want to probably get a bit of oak in there to smooth it out, and that's what oak does for red wine. It smooths out the tannins. It takes away that grippy bitterness, makes them a little bit more smooth in nature, or even velvety. And if you take a really good example, Malbec is one of the most thick-skinned grape varieties out there, and so as a grape variety, it should be super tannic, but it's not, because what the Argentinians do, and then we all love Argentinian Malbec, is they put it in a mixture of French and American oak, usually for lots and lots of months, to really make it velvety smooth. So that's an extreme example of how oak can turn a beast of a grape into something that's super silky. This only 3 months, so it's not taken a huge amount, but it really rounds it out and makes it easy drinking.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm just trying to think about food with this, because I think like something of this size, scale, body, you're probably going to eat with it. You've got to respect the poor if you're just drinking a 14.5 straight as it goes.
Yeah, I don't think you want to have 14.5% necessarily on its own. Yeah, it's going to get pretty heavy going, and there's still tannin there. The oak's done its job, it's smoothed it out, but then there is still tannin there. So you're going to need something to take the edge off of that. For me, Shiraz is synonymous with those sort of smoky, spicy, peppery flavors. If you're in a formal wine exam, which we all are, obviously, on a day-to-day basis. But if you're in a formal wine exam, one of the key sort of giveaways for Shiraz, if you're in a blind tasting, is pepper and spice. And so if you can smell that in the glass, or even barbecue flavors, then Shiraz is a firm guess. So anything around that sort of area, I think, is a good bet.
Right, well, I'll light the fires now. Let's get the smoke going.
Cheers.